Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Monday morning to you all today. Our next episode of The Bachelorette, the two-part finale, begins tomorrow, Tuesday, and then will end next Tuesday. So no episodes tonight, which means no live streams, publicly at least today. Just a heads up to you guys, I'll be going live on Patreon at 10 a.m. today. Private bonus behind-the-scenes content at patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'm also on Instagram at DNeals, where I post a whole bunch of new stand-up comedy clips over there. All right, did you have this on your bingo cards? A former Bachelorette contestant on JoJo's season was arrested for drunk driving and also had an 18-year-old in his truck, a female, and also a handgun. This is a wild story. We're going to break it down, and it's going to be told best by actually this TikToker right here. I'm going to wait to share what she has to say, along with dozens of comments from other 18 to 21-year-olds who say he's been hitting on them at these college bars. He's in his mid-30s, and what that all means. But this story has actually been sort of developing for a long time. In the sense that there's been some other grifting and weird red flags that have come out, and we've reported on it. And since he's not some main character or finalist, a lot of people haven't really been caught up on it. But let me tell you this right now. What I'm about to share with you guys is fascinating, frightening, and kind of scary. But we're going to get into it in 1 second. As you know, we've been featuring our different teachers. Today is Val, teacher of the day. She's a bilingual special education teacher. And if you want to donate to her, you can do that by clicking the link in the comment section below and purchasing any of the items on her wish list. They will go straight to her cart, straight to her school, wherever she's teaching, and they will help her classroom out greatly as she tries to inspire the youth of America. Speaking of inspiring the youth of America, so we made this story about James McCoy Taylor first a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago. He was reported to have been at the insurrection on January 6th. Of 2021. Now, of course, we know how that day went down. He said, "See y'all in D.C." He encouraged people to go. We're going to fight like hell. We're going to do all these crazy things. Well, guess what? He ended up going skiing, I believe in Colorado. So I had this story from like a year and a half ago, March 5th, 2021. It's fascinating. It's a grifter move. We're going to go do it. He's, virtue signaling in a way to a certain audience that he's there to fight for them. And what does he end up doing? He hits a couple black diamonds. He enjoys the powder, has a little hot cocoa, maybe nestles up by the fire at the end of the day because his feet got cold, while other people died fighting for a cause they believed in. That's why they were there. They believed in a cause, that the election was stolen, that this all, and there's going to be some political elements to this video. And I encourage people, anyone who doesn't want to hear what I have to say, I just encourage you just to watch the whole thing. Just watch the video, and you can agree or disagree. You can leave a comment, and I'll try to get back to you, and that'll be fine too. But I think what we need to do less of is put our head in the sand and pretend like there isn't a lot of nefarious activities going on. So after he pretended to go to the January 6th insurrection, after he pretended to do that, he was wondering why the parents, why FBI visited his parents' home.
Mom and Dad's house in Katy, and showed up there. My parents are freaked out. Like, where's your son? Being very intrusive. And they're like, what's this about? First of all, we're not telling you where he is.
So they didn't know what it was about. Why did they come to his home? And then, of course, some commenter said, fake news reports equal him publicly declaring he would be at the insurrection and that everyone owed it to Trump to go with him. Okay, so anyway, he's got a history of grifting, and we will talk about that in a moment here. But here's what this TikToker had to say as she reported on the news that came out over the weekend that he was arrested.
Tea on a man from Bachelor Nation. Okay, so this is James McCoy Taylor. I believe he was on season 12 of The Bachelorette.
JoJo.
He was arrested last night. He was arrested for drinking and driving, but what the weird part is this circle. He, while getting pulled over, had an 18-year-old college freshman companion in the passenger seat of his pickup truck that he was going to be taking back to his dorm. He met her at Northgate, which is at Texas A&M University, so he's at the college bars.
Okay, and we'll talk about that more in a second here. Officers described Taylor as having glassy eyes with slurred speech and smelling of alcohol while swaying back and forth while standing. He reportedly told police he had been drinking at Northgate and consumed 6 drinks during his time at several different bars between 10 p.m. Friday and 1 a.m. Saturday. And also, I don't know if she reported it here, but he was yelling at the police officer. Police said he became verbally, yelling, "I'm gonna get you fired." These types of things. You don't know who you're messing with. Do you know who my dad is? That type of deal.
and was going to be taking an 18-year-old freshman girl back to her dorm. To clarify, this man is 35 years old. 35 years old.
Actually, that's 37. He's born in May, so he's 37.
So back in the day,
36,
earlier this year, this man was in Lubbock, Texas.
Wait, 35. 35. Okay, 35. My math. Oh my gosh.
My college town, and hit up one of my friends who at the time was 20. And my friends were like, experimental purposes, they'll go. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but they were. And he was, this is her, very much trying to get with her. Also, ironically, he was wearing the same shirt as he was in his mugshot.
Okay, so he's got one of those, and everyone can understand, you got one of those shirts, like, ladies, you have your little black dress. This is what I wear. You have your black leather jacket when you're trying to get on a good day, whatever. I've got this, my hunter green t-shirt. This is my, whenever I have good content, I wear this t-shirt. So anyway, this is his go-to for predatory behavior.
Trying to get with her, it was weird. She was like, I'm not into this, left. And then immediately was like, I actually was into you this whole time. I wasn't into your other friend, blah, blah, blah. She obviously wasn't into me either. But obviously he has a history of like lurking on these college girls at college bars, and it's really, really weird. Anyways, it's really creepy. There's also another member of Bachelor Nation that does the same thing.
Okay, so she never says who the other person was. But all right, so we're starting to see receipts from other people. I'll share more of those in a second. This lady, Megan, says, he texted me last night. And then someone underneath that said, was it about the after party? And then Megan's like, yes, he texted me too. So clear, this guy's busy. He's a busy man. I don't know what he's busier with, getting his shirt dry cleaned between, predatory behavior or lurking around these college bars. Maybe he just likes dollar draft night. Maybe that's it. He likes 25-cent wing night. Do they still have that? All right. Anyway, so the question is, what is a grifter? Because this guy is a grifter. And here's the answer for what a grifter is, which we're about to talk about more in a second. A grifter is a double crosser with a powerful megaphone and a magniloquent voice. Just as a scammer does, a grifter is exceptional at orchestrating people out of their money. A political grifter is something other than your common garden variety con artist who takes an interest in some sort of fashion or cosmetics selling pyramid business model. They're dark influencers, and they amass an enormously captivated following by playing to their vulnerable emotions and affirming whatever preconceived bias their audience has. So let's actually go back here and go to James McCoy Taylor. Because I think I lost the part that had, I lost my clip here that had him. So this is an example of political grifting.
All the liberals out there, just because you have a short memory about elections doesn't mean we do. Check this out.
We're very concerned because there's only...
Okay, so it's just fake news.
We go to church and tell the truth. Mr. Straight is still the king, and CNN is fake news.
Okay, fake news. And okay, these just types of things, you're just like, you're playing the hits, essentially, you know? Just one
question of the day: if Russian disinformation.
Okay, so Russian disinformation, CNN. It's just one thing after another, right? Just different things. Make America great again. Here he is with Rudolph Giuliani, who has been disbarred from practicing law in New York City, and I think he's under indictment in Georgia. So it's just one thing after another. Joe Biden owes me gas money. Actually, you won't need gas money for a little while because you're probably going to lose your license. So what you need is actually some money for your Ubers that you'll be paying. Anyway, so it's just this type of thing over and over, grifting. And, it's playing and singing to an audience and finding moral outrage in certain issues. And like, this, your typical, they're going to steal our guns. They're going to indoctrinate our children. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. Just one thing after another. So for me, that's like influential grifting. Now, could he believe it? Maybe, but did he go to the speech on January 6th that turned into an insurrection? No, he went skiing. So I don't know if he believes it. Other political grifters. Steve Bannon was charged this week with money laundering and conspiracy. And you might say, oh my gosh, it's a witch hunt. They're out to get us. If you guys remember, Steve Bannon, in the name of protecting the country and building the wall, had a whole fraud case come about where he stole $1 million to pay off his own debts. A 6-count indictment charges Bannon with money laundering, conspiracy, and scheming to defraud for his alleged role in We Build the Wall, a group that raised at least $15 million to construct a barrier along the border with Mexico, but skimmed the donations. Let me tell you guys something. If you feel like you're a hardworking American who wants the best for your country and your fellow brothers and sisters and put your money to its good uses and put all that, then you should be so irate that people like this have hijacked one of your political parties, okay? And it is hijacked, and there is a civil war happening within the Republican Party. Now, look, I don't consider myself a Democrat. I'm a progressive. A lot of times that means you vote in alignment with that party, the Democratic Party, but I think they've got a lot of issues too. I've said this in the past. It took forever for Obama to say that, same-sex marriage should be legal. Obviously, his constituency wasn't where I think a lot of progressives wanted to be at the time. He came around. So we can call things out in different ways. But calling out the whole system of being corrupt because you lose, it's like you lost. You lost. And multiple dozens of courts have overruled all the different challenges for the Supreme. And what it came down to on January 6th is they wanted to disrupt democracy, and they did. And then now they're grifting off of it. And it's slowly starting to fall from people like Steve Bannon, who got arrested. Okay, got arrested. And we'll have to see what happens. He's innocent till proven guilty, but charged with fraud. And Giuliani in Georgia, and all these other cases where people are saying, all right, well, let's, like you and I, we should believe in the system that's set up. I know a lot of people say, support the blue, support the people that are working for the government that are charging others for fraud and all the other, grifting itself isn't necessarily illegal, right? James McCoy Taylor's allowed to sing, Make America Great Again, Again, Again. And he's allowed to hit on 18-year-olds at a bar. He's allowed to do these things, but he's not allowed to drive drunk with a handgun in his car. And we'll have to see how that plays out. But the chips are falling, right? The chips are falling for this guy. Here's what Date Card Pod did. Jenna, she compiled dozens of very interesting slides on her Instagram story. So if you want to even take a deeper dive into the hypocritical nature of James McCoy Taylor, the grifting, you could watch this.
Facts! Give up your guns! If for 8 consecutive days CNN said it was fine to have intercourse with a goat, you'd be all about it because you have no moral actual compass. You just make it up as
what? Huh? So, like I said, stealing the guns, homophobia, drags, teaching our kindergarten students about this or which bathrooms to use. You guys have to understand this. If we're using fear to sell somebody on anything, chances are it's a scam. It's a scam because fear is the easiest thing to scare people on, So, this fear that they're coming for you, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Every school shooting that happens, the NRA and gun manufacturers make tons of money because they play off of the fear that the government's going to come into your home and take your weapons. Every time there's any issue whatsoever, fear is presented as a motivating factor. Donald Trump is the first former president to have the issue that he had at Mar-a-Lago, and everyone's saying, oh my gosh, the precedents, they're going to come for you. And of course, what happens? Donald Trump raises probably more money than he's ever raised. Where's that money going? What's going to happen? I hope it's not your hard-earned money. I hope it's not.
as you go. Whatever society tells you is fine is fine. They're making our young kids' minds nasty, putting corrupt stuff in the curriculum from such a young age up. You were letting that small percentage show.
Is he driving right now? So I guess, is this the truck that maybe this was before he got arrested. I wonder where, maybe the truck's being impounded.
We'll argue about that later. What matters is the soul of this country. Are we good or are we freaking weird?
So I guess the question would be, would you rather, where's the soul of the country when you get arrested for drunk driving? But hey, he was only driving her back to her dorm room because clearly nothing nefarious was about to happen.
What matters is the soul of this country.
What matters is the soul of this country. Police also noted in their arrest report there was an 18-year-old college freshman companion in the passenger seat of the pickup that Taylor had just met at Northgate, and he was planning to take her back to her dorm room. Police went on to write in the report that she was impaired and was not in any kind of condition to appraise the benefits and risks of the situation she was in. Wow, I actually like this added commentary we got in this police report. I mean, as sad as the story is, it's very interesting to hear. All right, so finally, here are the comment sections from that TikTok compiled here by Date Card Pod that show the receipts of others that have dealt with James McCoy Taylor. OMG, we matched on a dating app a few months ago, and I got such bad vibes. This literally happened at North Carolina State back in 2017. He texted me last night. Always at college bars. Can confirm from a friend. He does this at SMU often. I saw him at a freshman LSU bar about 2 years ago. Bruh, he DM'd me this night. He's been hitting me up since I met him when I was 18. I'm 21 now. Mr. Man is always at Northgate alone trying to get girls to talk to him. Literally tried to take me home from Northgate when I was underage. Obviously, he didn't know that because I was at a bar, but still creepy. He did the exact same thing to me in 2017. I have voice memos on my phone from him apologizing to me for not giving me any attention when he liked me and not the girl he was with all night. I was 21 at the time and not interested. Do you ever go to A&M if you haven't met this man drunk at Northgate? He DM'd me once asking if I would be in his music video. One thing after another. So there it is, folks. There's the soul of this country. That's where we're at. Major a-hole got arrested. I'll be on Patreon if you want to grift with me over there. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'm not going to sell you on any fears. We're just going to talk about the truth, how we see it. All right, folks, we'll see you in a little bit. Link in the comment section to donate to our teachers. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.